If you're staying in this room, you will see Sahar's presentation on God as a cognitive construct, a neurobiological and philosophical perspective.
My name is Sahar Raman, and I am from Marywood University in Pennsylvania, United States. And today, the topic that I'm going to talk about is very close to my heart. It's very special because what I'm going to talk about is about having spiritual experiences and their relationship to the neurobiological and philosophical aspects. And today, the topic of my presentation is God as a cognitive construct, a neurobiological and philosophical perspective. Because as a child, I was very religious and I had some religious experiences as well. But then I happened to use a magnetic head belt once, and that gave me experiences similar to what I had got in over an hours of meditation. And those experiences I got in less than 5 minutes. So that was really strange for me. And then the second thing that happened was that I got bipolar, and my psychiatric medications, they would interfere with my thought and my religious affiliations so much that I would become an atheist with one dose. And if I missed them, then I would become a complete believer. And so these things were a little strange for me. So here I am. So let's begin. The notion of spirituality and belief in God are products of cognitive processes. The notion that spirituality and belief in God are products of cognitive processes has gained traction in both scientific and philosophical discourse. This perspective suggests that spiritual beliefs and experiences do not necessarily indicate the existence of an external divine reality, but are deeply rooted in human neurobiology and cognitive functions. This presentation delves into the idea that spirituality is a cognitive construct influenced by neurobiological, evolutionary, and cultural factors. The key field in this area is neurotheology, which merges neuroscience with the study of religious experiences. Andrew Newberg, a leading figure in this field, posits that the human brain is biologically wired to seek transcendence and to produce religious experiences. Evolutionary psychology also offers insights into the cognitive roots of spirituality. It explores how cognitive traits advantageous for survival could have given rise to religious beliefs. Boyer argues that humans have evolved a cognitive bias towards pattern recognition and agency detection. Philosophers such as Ludwig Feuerbach and Sigmund Freud have also contributed to this understanding. Feuerbach claimed that man creates God in his own image. Freud expanded on this idea, arguing that belief in a God fulfills psychological needs for protection, akin to the comforting role of parents in childhood. Additionally, research on substances like MDMA, psilocybin have shown that how changes in brain chemistry can induce experiences described as spiritual. What is neurotheology? Neurotheology is an interdisciplinary field that combines neuroscience and religious studies to understand how the brain generates experiences that people interpret as spiritual or divine. This field offers a naturalistic explanation for religious experiences, suggesting that they stem from brain functions rather than encounters with external supernatural forces. Central to neurotheology is the study of brain regions involved in spiritual practices. Research indicates that areas such as the parietal lobe, temporal lobes, and prefrontal cortex play key roles in producing feelings of transcendence and connection to a higher power. Newberg explains that change in parietal lobe activity during meditation can lead to an altered sense of self and space, a feeling often interpreted as being in the presence of divine entity. This state, according to Newberg, is not proof of an external reality, but a change in brain perception. Importance of neurotheology. Neurotheology provides a framework for understanding spirituality through a scientific lens. It suggests that spiritual experiences may be entirely explained by brain activity and cognitive processes rather than contact with an external force. As neuroscientist Todd Murphy states, quote, "The brain structure allows for profound spiritual experiences, but these are internal constructs, not external proofs of the divine." This approach challenges the traditional view of religious experiences as encounters with the supernatural entity. While this perspective recontextualizes spirituality, it does not diminish its personal or social significance. It offers insight into how the brain shapes experience of the divine, helping us understand why people feel a connection to a higher power. Religious experiences engage multiple brain regions, each contributing to the sensations, emotions, and cognitive processes that individuals report. These experiences, often marked by feelings of transcendence and unity, involve three key brain areas that become active during practices like prayer and meditation. Neuroimaging studies reveal how the brain integrates emotional, cognitive, and perceptual processes during such experiences. The temporal lobe, particularly the right side, is crucial in mystical and visionary experiences. It processes sensory input, time perception, and auditory stimuli. Research has shown that individuals with temporal lobe epilepsy often experience intense religious visions during seizures. As Saver and Rabin note, patients with temporal lobe epilepsy frequently report mystical experiences or a heightened sense of divine presence during seizure activity. These findings suggest that abnormal activity in the temporal lobe can evoke experiences that individuals interpret as spiritual or divine. Persinger proposed that this region's sensitivity to neural activity could lead to mystical sensations, providing a neurobiological basis for encounters with the divine. The prefrontal cortex is another critical area involved in decision-making, moral reasoning, and self-reflection. It becomes active when individuals engage in prayer or contemplate religious teachings. Newberg and Waldman state that during meditation or prayer, increased activity in the prefrontal cortex is associated with enhanced focus and moral contemplation. Studies on meditation have shown that heightened activity in this area correlates with increased self-awareness and spiritual insight, underscoring its role in the cognitive aspects of spirituality. The parietal lobe, responsible for spatial awareness, shows decreased activity during deep meditation or prayer, leading to experiences of unity with the universe or a divine presence. This reduction allows a blending of self and environment, facilitating a sense of being part of a large reality. Newberg explains that the parietal lobes, when less active, contribute to diminished sense of self, which aligns with reports from spiritual practices that emphasize self-transcendence. The limbic system, including the amygdala and hippocampus, processes emotions like awe and reverence during spiritual experiences. These structures help encode the emotional depth of encounters with the divine, reinforcing their significance in memory. The default mode network, DMN, active during self-referential thinking, shows reduced activity during deep meditation, allowing for a loss of personal identity and fostering a sense of universal connection. Together, these brain regions contribute to the complex nature of religious experiences. The temporal lobe mediates mystical experiences. The prefrontal cortex aids in moral contemplation. The parietal lobe supports feelings of unity, and the limbic system deepens emotional responses. The suppression of DMN facilitates self-transcendence. This intricate interplay highlights how religious experiences, while deeply personal, have identifiable neurobiological foundations that explain their profound impact on human consciousness. Evolutionary psychology provides a framework for understanding the origins of spiritual beliefs. According to Boyer, our minds are equipped with specific cognitive mechanisms that generate intuitions about non-physical agents, which support the formation of religious beliefs. Pattern recognition is a key cognitive ability that has shaped human belief systems. This ability involves detecting irregularities and causal relationships in the environment, crucial for survival in a world filled with predators and dangers. Barrett notes that the human mind evolved to be hypersensitive to detecting patterns and intentionality because it was safer to assume that a rustling in the grass might be a predator rather than a harmless breeze. This cognitive bias, known as the hyperactive agency detection device, HADD, likely made earlier humans more inclined to attribute natural events like storms or diseases to the actions of supernatural beings. This predisposition towards agency detection extends beyond immediate survival scenarios. Scott Atran explains that humans often infer intentionality in ambiguous situations, leading to beliefs that natural events are controlled by unseen agents. One of the reasons is that our brain is frugal in energy use, and it tries to make quick decisions so as to preserve energy for other important functions of the body. And for example, early humans might have interpreted the movement of celestial bodies or weather changes as the work of powerful supernatural beings. Over time, these interpretations developed into more complex beliefs about deities and that control natural forces, a pattern that can be seen across various ancient religions. Another important concept in evolutionary psychology is the human tendency to create narratives to make sense of complex or unexplained events. Stories about supernatural beings provided early humans with a way to explain the unknown, offering a sense of control over their inferences made by the control over their environment. For Boyer suggests that supernatural explanations emerge from the intuitive inferences made by the human mind, serving to reduce uncertainty and anxiety. These narratives not only help explain natural phenomena, but also reinforce social cohesion as shared beliefs about the supernatural fostered unity among early human communities. Additionally, the concept of minimally counterintuitive concepts is crucial in understanding the persistence of religious beliefs. Ideas that are slightly different, as one says, from everyday reality, such as gods with extraordinary abilities, making them easy to remember and share. These concepts remain grounded in human understanding while being unusual enough to capture attention, helping to explain why stories of gods and spirits have endured across cultures. The evolutionary perspective suggests that beliefs in supernatural agents were adaptive traits that provided survival advantages. By attributing agency to environmental events, early humans could respond quickly to potential dangers, enhancing their chances of survival. Modern expressions of these cognitive traits can be seen in people's tendency to interpret random events as intentional. Thus, evolutionary psychology offers valuable insights into the origins of spiritual beliefs, emphasizing the role of cognitive mechanisms like pattern recognition and agency detection. These traits, originally adapted for survival, have shaped human interpretations of the world and contributed to the formation of religious narratives. While this perspective does not claim that supernatural agents are real, it provides a framework for understanding why humans have developed enduring beliefs in God and spirits throughout history. Cultural transmission involves the process through which individuals acquire beliefs, behaviors, and values through social learning. Hendrick states that cultural learning is essential for the spread of persistence of complex beliefs, particularly those involving abstract concepts like deities or spirits. Children are especially receptive to these forms of learning, internalizing what they hear, uh, internalizing cultural norms and what they hear and religious teachings from their families and communities. These early lessons form foundation of their understanding of the world, making it difficult for different perspectives to take root later in life. Storytelling is a primary means of cultural transmission. Narratives about gods, creation myths, and moral tales have been integral to human cultures for millennia, serving both to entertain and to convey societal values. Dawkins, in his concept of means, suggests that ideas, beliefs spread through culture much like genes spread through populations. Religious stories that resonates emotionally and aligns with human cognitive tendencies, such as those that explain the mysteries of life or promise rewards, are more likely to be preserved and transmitted across generations. The next one is rituals. They play a crucial role in the transmission and strengthening of religious beliefs. Rituals provide concrete expressions of abstract concepts, making them easier to remember and reinforce their importance. Within a community, White House notes that rituals create collective effervescence, a concept introduced by sociologist Emily Durkheim to describe the sense of unity and shared purpose that emerges during communal ceremonies. This emotional bonding strengthens group identity and solidifies belief in the supernatural beings or deities at the center of the rituals. Moreover, religious practices are often integrated into everyday life through symbols, celebrations, and social norms, which reinforce these beliefs. Festivals and holidays, for example, often commemorate divine events or figures, providing opportunities for individuals to engage with religious concepts. These recurring practices ensure the religious beliefs remain a living part of cultural identity rather than abstract ideas. Boyer asserts that the constant reinforcement of religious ideas through ritual and communal gatherings ensures their persistence across time and generations. Social reinforcement is another critical aspect of cultural transmission. Sharing a belief system with one's community fosters a sense of belonging and validation. This social cohesion is particularly strong in religious communities where shared beliefs become the basis of mutual support and identity. Religious beliefs also adapt to changing social contexts, ensuring their relevance over time. As societies evolve, religious teachings are modified to address new challenges or incorporate new knowledge. As such, cultural transmission is a powerful mechanism for sustaining religious beliefs through storytelling, rituals, and social practices. The philosophical perspectives on God as a projection. The idea that belief in God is a projection of human desires rather than a reflection on an external reality is central to the philosophies of Ludwig Feuerbach and Sigmund Freud. Ludwig Feuerbach, a 19th century German philosopher, is well known for developing the projection theory in religion. In the essence of Christianity, Feuerbach argues that man projects his own nature onto the idea of God, attributing to him all that is good, noble, and perfect. According to Feuerbach, the divine attributes worshipped by humans, such as omnipotence, wisdom, and benevolence, are idealized human qualities. Thus, God becomes a mirror reflecting humanity's highest aspirations. Feuerbach's theory implies that belief in God is more about fulfilling a psychological need than discovering an external truth. This view challenges the notion that God exists independently of human thought, proposing instead that religious beliefs are essentially human creations. Sigmund Freud expanded on this concept, offering a detailed psychological analysis of religious beliefs as projections. In The Future of an Illusion, Freud argued that religion is born. Sigmund Freud expanded on this concept, offering a detailed psychological analysis of religious beliefs as projections. The Future of an Illusion, in this book, he argues that religion is born from man's need to make his helplessness tolerable. He suggested that the idea of God serves as a psychological support, offering comfort in a world of uncertainties and fears. For Freud, religion acts as a universal obsessional neurosis, providing the same sense of security that children find in their parents. Both Feuerbach and Freud suggest that religious beliefs originate from human psychology rather than divine revelation. For Feuerbach, God represents an externalized version of human ideals, while for Freud, God serves as a projection of childhood desires for comfort. These perspectives align with the cognitive construct theory, positing that religious beliefs serve important emotional and social functions even if they do not correspond to an objective reality. Entactogens and the triggering of spiritual experiences. The study of entactogens, psychoactive substances that alter brain states and chemistry, offers evidence that spiritual experiences can be generated through changes in the brain without the need for external divine influence. Entactogens like MDMA, commonly known as ecstasy, and psilocybin have been shown to produce feelings of interconnectedness, transcendence, and profound peace. These substances induce states often described as mystical or spiritual, suggesting that such experiences may be rooted in neurochemical processes rather than interactions with a higher power. Entactogens affect brain's neurotransmitter system, particularly serotonin, to produce their effects. Serotonin plays a crucial role in mood regulation, perception, and cognition. The increased release of serotonin is associated with the feeling of euphoria and emotional warmth reported by users of these substances. Psilocybin, found in certain species of mushrooms, binds to serotonin receptors and induces altered states of consciousness. Studies have shown that psilocybin, when administered in controlled settings, can elicit experiences that participants describe as spiritual or mystical. MDMA, another notable entactogen, has also been studied for its ability to induce altered states of consciousness. When taken, MDMA increases the release of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, leading to heightened empathy, emotional closeness, and a diminished sense of self-boundaries. These effects mirror the experiences reported during deep meditation or prayer, where individuals often feel a sense of unity with others or a divine presence. The study of entactogens challenges the assumption that spiritual experiences necessarily involve an external divine force. Instead, it supports a naturalistic interpretation of spirituality, where feelings of transcendence are understood as products of the brain's biochemical processes. According to Nichols, the mystical experiences induced by psychedelics reveal the capacity of the human brain to generate profound states of consciousness traditionally interpreted as spiritual or religious.
You've got 5 minutes left.
5?
5 for presentation, yeah.
Okay. The ability to replicate such experiences through chemical means suggests that what people interpret as spiritual or divine could be triggered by changes in brain chemistry. So I would come to the conclusion now. So psychological and social societal roles of religion provide, so psychologically, religion provides a sense of security and purpose, especially during crisis. Moreover, religious practices often help individuals manage emotional challenges. Activities like prayer, meditation, and other spiritual practices have been shown to activate the brain's relaxation response, reducing stress and promoting well-being. Beyond psychological benefits, religion is instrumental in shaping social structures and maintaining order. Religious institutions have also been central to developing laws, educational and cultural practices. Many legal systems have roots in religious principles, with laws reflecting moral codes and derived from sacred texts. Conclusion. In conclusion, examining spirituality and belief in God through naturalistic lens reveals that these experiences are fundamentally cognitive constructs rooted in human biology, psychology, and cultural evolution. This perspective challenges traditional religious views that assert the existence of a deity beyond human perception. Instead, it suggests that spirituality arises from the brain's innate capacity to generate profound experiences without requiring an external supernatural source. By integrating insights from neurotheology, evolutionary psychology, and studies on entactogens, this view offers a comprehensive understanding of how the mind creates feelings of transcendence and divine connection. Neurotheology has shown that specific brain regions, like the parietal lobes and prefrontal cortex, are instrumental in shaping spiritual experiences. Research by Newberg indicates that during practices such as meditation and prayer, shifts in brain activity can alter the perception of self, leading to experiences of unity with a larger presence on the universe. Evolutionary psychology adds another layer of explanation, exploring how cognitive traits like pattern recognition and agency detection have shaped human spirituality. These traits, which evolved to help early humans survive in uncertain environments, predispose humans to perceive intentional forces behind natural events. Moreover, research on entactogens, substances that alter brain chemistry, demonstrates that changes in neurotransmitter activity can induce sensations often described as spiritual. Studies by Griffiths et al. On psilocybin reveal that these substances can produce feelings of unity, awe, and peace, which participants interpret as mystical experiences. The ability to stimulate such profound states through chemical changes in the brain supports the idea that spiritual experiences can be generated internally without the need for an external deity. Philosophers like Ludwig Feuerbach and Sigmund Freud have provided further insights suggesting that religious beliefs are projections of human needs rather than reflections of a divine reality. These perspectives align with the cognitive construct theory, which posits that religious beliefs serve important emotional and social functions, even if they do not correspond to an objective reality. At the same time, the naturalistic understanding of spirituality does not aim to diminish the significance of religious experiences. Rather, it seeks to reinterpret them as expressions of the brain's capacity to create profound states of consciousness. Recognizing spirituality as a main human construct allows us to appreciate the way these beliefs address fundamental psychological needs and contribute to social cohesion. The research discussed in this presentation suggests that spirituality and belief in God are meaningful yet internally generated phenomena. They arise from mind's ability to create experiences that offer a sense of purpose, community, and transcendence. While the idea of an external deity may not find support in the naturalistic view, the value of spiritual experiences remains undiminished. These experiences continue to shape worldviews and provide frameworks of understanding life's mysteries. Ultimately, viewing spirituality as a human construct provides a new way of engaging with religious beliefs, one that respects their impact on human life while grounding them in the natural world. It encourages a dialogue between science and spirituality, allowing for deeper exploration of how the brain and mind create experiences that have been central to human culture for millennia. This perspective redefines spirituality not as a proof of an external reality, but as a testament to the human ability to create meaning and find connection in a vast and complex universe. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, Sahar. Really well presented. Well done.
Thank you.
So that's screen sharing off. So has anyone got any questions straight away for Sahar? Okay, in that case, I will take chair's prerogative and go for it. Really interesting presentation. I suppose my question to you is the fact that why does the fact that we can recreate something that feels like a religious experience mean that the potential cause of that experience cannot be external? And I suppose my analogy would be we can now create very realistic appearance of an external world through VR, for example, through virtual reality, to the point that I know someone who was flying in virtual reality and got scared because she couldn't put her feet down, despite the fact she was standing in a room with her feet on the floor. So that experience that was very real and probably created very similar neurobiological response doesn't diminish the fact there is an external world out there, right? So that would be my corollary to religious experience. So why does the fact we can recreate a neurobiological response exclude the possibility of an external deity?
What I feel like is when we are using the VR, the example that you gave me, it is still external. We are using lenses and objects to have that kind of experience. But when we are having an internal experience of God, I don't want to say that it's 100% from inside. Maybe there is something outside. But for example, with my own experience, when I wore that magnetic head belt, I got the same feeling which went on into during the meditation and in 5 minutes. So what was happening? There was something happening at the back of inside the brain, which was creating those images, which was taking my state of mind, my states in the brain states in that particular direction. So what we do in meditation is we focus. And these things, like this magnetic head belt that I'm talking about, they make us focus. The focus was created internally, and those experiences came live. So I do not want to say that there is or is not anything external, but yes, they definitely are internal.
Okay, so you're not saying that it rules out there being an external deity, just that it can be recreated internally?
Yes. I do not want to rule out anything, because it is within. God has never been proved to be true. He has never been proved to be false. So I won't talk about that.
Okay, thank you. Has anyone else got any questions? Yes, Andrew, go for it.
Yes, hi. Thanks very much for that presentation. Very interesting to hear the review of your viewpoint and all those different contributions to our understanding of the brain. I find it fascinating that the more we understand about the brain, the more it is absolutely essential to everything that we view as consciousness. So, dualistic ideas and so on, I find that quite difficult to explain. But I wonder, going with your argument, it links in a little bit to what Finn was saying, whether, given that what your research there is showing is that there is an internal component to our experiences, whether indeed it's an experience of the divine or an experience of an elephant in front of me, there is something internal to the brain there. What does that say about physical realism, and whether that's something that's supported by our experience or not?
I think I'll give you one analogy. Mm-hmm. I have been a student of Upanishads, the Indian philosophy. So they always talk about consciousness as being real. The consciousness not of this world, but of some world that we see that is beyond the physical. So I don't know what that world is, but yes, this physical world is there. But then at the same time, if a saint, if a Upanishadic seer and a layman are standing together, the Upanishadic seer who has attained the highest level of consciousness, for him, the world is a unity. At the same time, for a layman who's standing outside, standing at the same level of consciousness like everyone else, for him, it's still in parts. So is it something common, something natural that has happened? Or it is just something inside the seer has changed, which has not changed within the brain of the layman? So that is, to that question, I think I can only answer that it is within the brain.
Okay.
Yes, Douglas. Oh, you're on mute, Douglas.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, there was an interesting talk. Amazing. Isn't it the case, though, that everything in our consciousness is an image of the outside? We don't know what the link is between our visual input from the eyes. Our brain constructs an external pattern from the image, the sound from our ears, the smells our tastes, everything. The discourse we're having now, the fact that we're talking, the fact that we're using rational arguments, that's all brain activity. But it's not nothing but brain activity. The mystery is what is there? You can't go from saying our consciousness is constructing an image of the outside world to say there's nothing there. It's an act of faith that there is.
Okay.
Otherwise, our rational thinking just now is because our frontal lobes and our parietal lobes are making it thus. And if they weren't working, we'd be talking gibberish, and we wouldn't be using syntax and so on. So everything we do is brain activity. It doesn't diminish the reality of it in any way.
Okay. So
your challenge, Sahar, is you've got 2 minutes to reply to that.
Okay. So I would talk about the highest experience of consciousness or God in Upanishads and Buddhism. Buddhism especially says that when we reach a state of mind where it is shunya means zero, when we see nothing, when we experience nothing, and that is the highest state of consciousness. And similarly, Upanishads say that when we become one with the ultimate, when we see the unity in all the universe, my boundaries go away, my mental boundaries go away, and it's only and only me and the universe. Not even me, it's the universe itself. Universe devoid of any qualities. So in that case, I feel like it's more of a a state of mind than finding him somewhere outside. For example, if I have to say a person from religion A will never see the God of religion B in his dreams or in his meditation, however hard he may try. It's all in us. That's what I feel. I mean, I may be wrong, but I just...
Thank you so much, Sahar. You managed to finish that dead on as we've been brought into the main room. So really well done. That wasn't an easy question to wrap up in 2 minutes. So a kind of virtual round of applause from us. Really good presentation. Thank you.